The coffee shop went silent. 5 Navy SEALs, hardened warriors who'd seen combat across 3 continents, sat frozen at their table. And all because a little girl with pigtails had just pointed at their friend's forearm and said 6 words that changed everything. My mom had that same tattoo. What city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe and follow for more stories about extraordinary people. Marcus Chun had been a SEAL for 12 years, and he'd learned to read people the way most folks read books. Right now, every instinct he had was screaming that something was wrong. The little girl couldn't have been more than 7 years old. She stood beside their table at the Portland coffee shop, her pink backpack almost as big as she was. Her brown eyes fixed on the intricate compass rose tattooed on Marcus's forearm. "Sweetie, where's your mom?" Marcus asked gently, his voice softening in a way his teammates rarely heard. "She's sleeping," the girl said simply. "She sleeps a lot now." Marcus exchanged glances with his brothers, Jake, Tommy, Derek, and Luis. They'd all seen enough to know when something didn't add up. "What's your name?" Luis asked, kneeling down to her level. "Emma." "Emma, that's a beautiful name," Marcus said. "Can you tell me more about your mom's tattoo? The one like mine?" Emma's face lit up with the kind of pure joy that only children possess. "She got it before I was born. She said it reminded her of someone special. Someone brave?" Marcus felt his chest tighten. His compass rose wasn't just any tattoo. It was a memorial piece, custom designed, that he'd gotten with his team after they lost their medic, Sarah Mitchell, in Afghanistan 8 years ago. Sarah had always talked about getting a compass rose because her grandmother told her it would always guide her home. The 5 of them had gotten matching tattoos. Sarah's family got the design too. "Emma," Marcus said carefully, his hand starting to tremble slightly. "What's your mom's name?" Sarah Mitchell Rodriguez." The coffee cup slipped from Tommy's hand, shattering on the floor. Nobody moved to clean it up. "Where is your mom right now, Emma?" Garrick's voice was urgent but controlled. "At home? She said she needed to rest before her treatment. I was supposed to wait at school for Grandma, but I saw you through the window and the tattoo and I just wanted to tell you." Treatment. The word hit Marcus like a freight train. Sarah Mitchell was alive. They'd carried her body. They'd been to her funeral. They'd watched her casket lowered into the ground at Arlington. The Navy had presented her mother with a folded flag. But looking at this little girl, seeing Sarah's eyes, Sarah's smile, Sarah's determination in the set of her small jaw, Marcus knew with absolute certainty that something had gone catastrophically wrong 8 years ago. "Emma, we need to take you home to your mom right now," Marcus said, his voice steady despite the storm raging inside him. "Is that okay?" She nodded, slipping her small hand into his without hesitation. The drive to the address Emma provided took 15 minutes. 15 minutes of 5 grown men trying to process the impossible while keeping a 7-year-old girl entertained with terrible jokes and stories. The house was small, but well kept, with children's drawings taped to the windows. Marcus knocked on the door, his heart hammering so hard he could feel it in his throat. The woman who opened the door had changed. She was thinner, her hair shorter, a scar running along her jawline that hadn't been there before. But those eyes, those fierce, determined eyes, they were unmistakably Sarah Mitchell's. She looked at the 5 men standing on her porch, looked at her daughter, and then her knees buckled. Marcus caught her before she hit the ground. In her living room, surrounded by photos of Emma at every age. Sarah told them a story that sounded like a thriller movie, but was horrifyingly real. She'd been captured, not killed. Held for 3 months by a militia group that wanted to use her as leverage. When a local resistance group freed her, she was barely alive. The Navy, working with incomplete intelligence, had already declared her Kier. Her captors had sent fake confirmation, along with dog tags taken from her dot by the time she recovered enough to make contact. She'd learned something that changed everything. There was a mole in the intelligence chain, someone who'd sold out her position. Coming back would have put a target on her back and on anyone she loved. So Sarah Mitchell died. And Sarah Rodriguez, a nurse in Portland, was born. I've been trying to find proof for 8 years, she said, wiping tears from her eyes. But the cancer, it's stage 3, and I'm running out of time. I need to know Emma will be safe. I need to know the person who did this won't hurt anyone else. Marcus looked at his brothers. They'd spent 8 years mourning a ghost while their sister fought alone. You're not alone anymore, he said firmly. We've got resources now, contacts, and we've got something they don't. What's that? Sarah asked, a reason to never give up. 4 months later, Sarah stood in a federal courtroom as the mole. A contractor who'd sold information to the highest bidder for years was sentenced to life in prison. Her name was cleared, her benefits restored, and more importantly, her daughter would be taken care of. No matter what happened with her treatment, the tattoo on Marcus's arm had always been a memorial. Now it was a reminder of something else, that sometimes the people we've lost aren't gone. Sometimes they're just waiting for us to find them again. And sometimes, all it takes is a little girl brave enough to recognize a Compass Rose and Speak Up. Life has a way of bringing people back together when we need them most. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more inspiring true tales. Share your own story of unexpected reunion in the comments below. Remember, hope is never truly lost. It's just waiting to be found. Until next time, keep believing in miracles.